Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. We are going to go ahead and get started with our program at the 2025 Clay County Chamber of Commerce Annual Awards Dinner. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. My name is Frank Colbertus. I'm the president of the board of directors for the Chamber, and I will get things started. We are going to have all of our board involved with the presentation this evening. You're going to get a chance to meet everybody up close and personal, whether they like it or not. This event is something that is actually within our bylaws, a requirement that we do an annual meeting of our membership. And we appreciate all of our members that chose to come out tonight. You are always welcome to be a part of what the Chamber is doing, to request to be in attendance at even our board meetings if you so choose. But we love it when we have a chance to get out in front of folks and share a little bit about what the Chamber is doing. And we're a very active organization, I think maybe as active as we've ever been, and have a board that is energized and very involved, and I feel particularly proud to be able to be working with such a group of people that are so committed and putting in a lot of good effort on behalf of the local business community. So that is the point of tonight. We're here to recognize our business community and our local community as a whole. But I want to start tell you a little bit about myself. I mean, it is his story that we're supposed to be talking about tonight, right? So I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, and oh, that's not what you were counting on tonight? Oh, history, not his story. You want some history. I gotcha. Okay, all right. Our theme this evening is We Are Made by History. And you may or may not be familiar with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., a famous quote in which he said, "We are not makers of history, we are made by history." I think a pretty profound statement that recognizes that we're not in control. We are formed and shaped by what's happened before us, by historically significant events, and in some cases insignificant events that have shaped our community and us personally. And within Clay County, we're blessed to actually have a very rich history, and I think a little bit of a unique history compared to other parts of the country, and certainly compared to other parts of the world. We acknowledge that our actions, our choices, are often shaped by what was done before us, and we're going to hear about our history tonight here in Clay County from our guest speaker, and I'm going to tell you about her in a minute. But before we do that, some other business to take care of tonight. I want to start by acknowledging our hosts this evening. Mountain Harbor Golf Club, for the second year in a row, has served as the host venue for this event, and George and Diana Azor are in particular I was going to say involved, that's not the right word. Consumed might be a better word. Dominated by Mountain Harbor Golf Club. Would you both please stand up and just give a quick wave? You'll hear more about Mountain Harbor tonight because they have been nominated for some awards, but they have done a great job at this facility of making it available to our community again as a wonderful venue, not to mention a wonderful dining establishment as well, and of course a great place for recreation, and it's not a bad view from this particular meeting room. I also want to recognize two sponsors. We have several sponsors that we will recognize throughout the night, but we have a couple who have stepped up at a little larger level this year. I'm going to admit to you that our chamber is in much better financial shape than it was in 2020, but we're not the wealthiest, we don't have the deepest pockets of any nonprofit organization or chamber of commerce out there. And yet prices continue to go up for everything in this country. And so we occasionally have to reach out and ask for a little help. And we've had 2 sponsors that are helping to offset the cost of this evening's event, beyond the tickets that you all paid for to be here this evening. And thank you very much for doing that. I want to recognize Rick Andrews and Century 21 Black Bear Realty. And this is the second year that Rick has been a sponsor for us at this event at a larger than normal level. And you will hear a little bit more about Rick and his agency and their involvement with our awards presentation this evening. And then I also want to thank Clay County Government, who is a sponsor of this event this year, and they are specifically sponsoring our keynote address, which is about the history of Clay County. So please, a round of applause for the county as well. I mentioned the board that we have at the Chamber of Commerce. We have an 11-person board elected by our membership. Our board members serve a 3-year term. That is, if they haven't been asked to replace a board member who has stepped away early, then they may pick up an unexpired term and have a little bit longer period of time. I have, at this point, it's hard for me to say, or hard for me to believe, that I have to say, at this stage, I am the 2nd longest tenured member of our board, and I've only been on this board since August of 2021. So we've had a very high level of turnover on this board over the last several years, which has actually been a really good thing. We have an energized, active, very involved group that has run for and been elected as board of directors. And I'd like to take just a minute and have each of them come up here this evening, one by one, as I introduce them. I'd like to start with our new vice president for 2025 from Tri-County Office Supply, Mr. Tim Deering. Tim will tell you that he was only asked to run for the board because he's young and has a truck. There's no truth to it. No truth to it. Oh yeah, we realize tonight though there is a benefit. He's tall. That does help sometimes too. At least taller than me. Our secretary, she was our treasurer up until just a couple of weeks ago. We've actually swapped some duties on our board just recently. And so now currently the secretary of our board from Blue Ridge Mountain EMC, Ms. Kelly Crawford. Really Mrs. Kelly Crawford. I don't want Kevin mad at me. Our treasurer now is Teresa McClure from Hayesville First United Methodist Church. And the American Legion Auxiliary. I always throw that in there too. And then our directors on the board. Rick Andrews from Century 21 Black Bear Realty, who's brand new to our board this year. Henry Angelopoulos from Tri-County Community College. Hillary Bond from the Tech Guys. Kayla Lawler of Big Bear Veterinary Clinic. Caitlin Lovinggood, also new to our board this year from First Citizens Bank. Patience Sowell with Harrah's Cherokee Valley River Casino. And last but not least, Amanda Wagner with CCCRA. And I'm prouder than can be to say our entire board is here this year. This has not happened the last few years, so thank you to all of you. This is a committed group. We are so blessed to have a group of people that are volunteering their time, putting forth a great amount of effort on behalf of the economy and the business community within Clay County. And would you please give them one more warm round of applause? Thanks, gang. And you're going to hear from all of them at some point during the night as well. One more introduction to make, and you maybe met this guy before. He occasionally gets out and sees people and says he's an introvert. Most talkative introvert I've ever met in my life. Our executive director, who has been with us now since summer of 2022. That's right, summer of 2023, approaching his 2-year anniversary, not his 3-year anniversary. I do want to bring up and have him share some remarks with you, our executive director, Mr. Jim Rich. 2 years has gone by really quickly. And at other times, really slowly.
Thank you, Frank, and I probably really don't need a microphone, but I'll use it just so everyone in the back, like Kurt, can hear me. I want to do a couple of very quick introductions of our volunteers at the Chamber. If they would please stand when their name is called. Janice Height. I absolutely love Monday mornings when Janice is in there because I get to hear about all the fun things that she did over the weekend and how busy she is with her social life. But I really do depend on Janice because she's been with the Chamber as a volunteer now for over 10 years. And then next is Joyce Frick. Joyce is another very important person in the Chamber, is that she does all the newsletters through Constant Contacts. And every now and then, Joyce will call me in a panic, usually about, what is that code? And I think we had one day where I actually went and visited her at Sharp Memorial so we could actually get her into Constant Contacts. And I'm like, code? What code? And then the third person, who is Diane Haney. Are you in here yet, Diane? It's okay. Diane's out at the table, probably waiting on those late arrivals. But Diane has been with the Chamber for a good while too. And I kind of lean on Diane from time to time, just on some of the historical things that the Chamber has done. And when it gets to be time for events, particularly Pumpkin Chunkin', which will be starting up in 2 weeks, Diane is just, I couldn't get through it without her as far as, Jim, we need to order this, we need to order that. And also when it comes to setup, just indispensable. The other person I'd like to introduce, which is a new addition to the Chamber, is Tess Thomas. I think probably, it's going on close to about a year and a half ago, as we were sitting in our all-day board workshop, we kind of broached the subject of, Jim, we think maybe we should hire someone who can help out. And at the time, I'm like, financially, I just don't feel comfortable. I'd rather bank some of that money and we'll revisit the following year. This year we made the decision to bring Tess on board. Highly recommended from our speaker, Reba Beck, tonight. And I'm very happy about the situation because in 7 days of work, Tess has completely went through our website to make sure everything is updated and the links correctly work. So we're making some progress. But on that note, just a few little things from me tonight. First of all, thank you all for coming. I mean, this is really a huge event, and I can't thank my board enough for doing a lot of the things behind the scenes, or then constantly for the last week, a bunch of emails coming in, is, Jim, do you need this? Do you need me to help with this? And yeah, there's a little bit of panic involved in it, but they always do come through. So thanks all of you for making this event happen tonight. Now, on the topic of history, and I'm going to try to stay kind of on script on this. For me, this type of presentation tonight was something that I talked about with Laura, my predecessor, 2 years ago when we were talking about annual dinner. And I said, one of the things that's really unique about Clay County is that we have a very rich culture and we have a very rich history. But it takes a lot to go ahead and figure out where things are and who has what. And I say that because one of the original pieces of property that I bought in Clay County was actually right behind Captain Moore's house. and trying to find the history on Captain Moore and everything, it was really cool to see at one point of digging through an old Foxfire book, the ledgers from the store. And I'm like, that is just so cool. I can't wait to move there full time. But I've always been into history, and I think where it really hit home, our Outdoor Communities Committee, it was 4 of us sitting at my conference table to have a meeting probably about 2 months ago. And the 3 people that were there with me, Sandy Zimmerman, Joanna Atkinson, and Rob Tiger. And of course, we finished our business part of the meeting in about 20 minutes. And then it became, well, Rob, you remember this? Well, let me tell you about that. And it was so funny because about after 45 minutes, Rob looks over at me and goes, Jim, did we bore you to death? I'm like, no, this is like so cool. I go, I just wish this stuff was written down so that we would have a record of something like that. So it gives me great pleasure tonight to have Rita do the presentation. I had a great time with her, and we had to go ahead and swear allegiances that we would not reprise our roles as Jethro and Granny. We really wanted to, and my board made it quite clear to me when we decided. But other than that, it's been a great year at the Chamber, and looking forward to doing more than a few years yet down the road. Love it.
Thank you, Jim. Every time he says that years down the road, I always tell him, can I get that in writing? Jim has done a great job for our chamber over the past just shy of 2 years. And I do want to add a little bit to what he shared tonight about Tess Thomas joining as a paid member of our staff. This is Diane, by the way, Diane Haney, who was introduced a few minutes ago. She's a volunteer who does it all. So I'm excited to share that our board's decision to add a part-time staff person is going to allow us, and it was really driven by the ability to allow us to have our Welcome Center now be open on Thursday and Friday evenings and throughout the day on Saturday, which is, I think, a huge step for our organization. Obviously, a Welcome Center is designed for visitors. And most visitors are visiting on the weekend. And yet we have been a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 operation, and that doesn't exactly jive with the schedules of people that are visiting this area. So we will now have, starting in May, hours until 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, and we will be open from 10 to 6 on Saturdays, and it is Tess who will be the smiling face that will greet people and visitors. So we're super excited about that. It's a big step for our organization. It's something, as Jim alluded to, that our board has been discussing for a couple of years. And as I said earlier, it's not that we have the deepest pockets, so we had to get to the point financially where we felt comfortable that we could take that kind of a step and be able to keep that sustained. But I do feel strongly for our business community that this will be of benefit. Whether you are on the square or miles from the square, people are coming to our area and they're looking for information about what's going on, where to eat, what's happening, what events are available, what recreation is there, and so forth. And Tess will be able to share that with them when they're here during the hours that make sense for them. And by the way, that will also include the Welcome Center being open up until the time that the concerts start on the square on Friday night, which is by design as well. So we're excited about that. We're excited about a lot of things that are happening currently at the Chamber, but let's wind back a little bit and go back in time. Let's go back in history. Our keynote speaker this evening is the co-president of the Clay County Historical and Arts Council. She is a longtime educator in the Clay County schools, having served as an art teacher at both the middle school and the high school level for many years, as well as then following that up with a long stint on the school board for Clay County Schools. She is currently the co-president. She's been involved with the Historical and Arts Council for more than 25 years. And this evening she's going to share with us a look back and maybe a little bit of a look ahead. Did I not have this up earlier? Oh my gosh, I'm way behind on my slides. Anybody remember what it used to look like that? That is the chamber office back when it wasn't the chamber office. Back when it was the variety store. The V is still there, it's just not painted white anymore. It was Eva's Variety. And I pulled that photo, trying to remember what year it said it was dated. 1970 something, I want to say.
60s.
You think the 60s, Sandy? Okay, I'll go with that. Sandy says it was the 60s. She would probably know better than that.
I was the right thing.
You still are. Last I checked. So, yeah, that was supposed to have been up there when I was doing my introductions. What I meant to have up there now was this one. Reba Back, co-president of Clay County Historical and Arts Council, who's going to talk about a snapshot of Clay County history. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is sponsored by Clay County government, please welcome Reba Back. I'll tug on your coat.
Because I have a lot to say, and I would love to have an hour. I told him when he first asked me.
She did. I said it's 20 to 30 minutes. She said, can I have 60? I said no.
Okay, so I'm just going to quit when he tells me so. Anyway, I want to tell you first of all just how honored I am to be here. I am so excited about just being able to share about Clay County history and how it ties into our Historical and Arts Council. But when he first asked me, I said, well, I didn't say to him, but I thought, oh my goodness, why me? What do I have to offer? There are so many people who really could do a great job at this, but let me tell you, they will just have to wait their turn. Because I thought, well, you know, I'm being asked, so I'm just going to accept, because I want to talk about something that I am absolutely passionate about. And you will see the photograph up there. Raise your hand if you recognize where that is. Okay. Well, that's the photograph that I see that thrills my heart every time I come that way, because that's the picture taken from Glade Gap just as you begin to come down the Chunky Gal Mountain. Does anybody know where that is? Some hands go up. Well, I would encourage you and welcome you not to call that Franklin Mountain. There is no such place as that. So that's my little bit of encouragement and instruction for you tonight. So please bear with me now. This is the reason this thrills my heart so much is because I realize that now I'm on Shooting Creek, and that is pronounced correctly with no G. I love that place. I love that place so much. And unlike many of you, I got to Clay County just as fast as I could. I was straight out of college, and I met this gentleman who came in here just a little bit ago, and we have now been married 60 years. So, we're a few weeks short of that, but anyway, we're going to celebrate all year. So anyway, I have fallen in love totally head over heels with Clay County. I love this place, I love the people, I love the scenery, and when I drive through there, I'm always saying, I love these mountains, I love these mountains. I just can't help it, I do. I really feel so blessed to be here in Clay County. And that's just another reason that I felt so good about coming tonight, is so that I could just have an opportunity to say that. Because I have a little list here that I want to be sure that I just read, because I don't want to leave any of it out. Now, our county is known for outward migration. I think you probably have already found that out. They graduate from high school and they go away, and that's sort of the end of them. But we're also known for those people who were raised here and stayed here. We're known for people who were raised here and they moved away and never came back. Except for maybe a visit, a funeral or something. We have people who were raised here, moved away, and then returned. And probably you've met some of those people. Maybe some of you are those people. We have part-time residents. They come and go. You probably know some of them. I do too. And then there are those who have moved here because they chose to move here. There was something about Clay County that drew them here. And that is probably the case of many, many of you tonight. And you're the ones that I really want to say a special thank you to, because you have absolutely enhanced the very fabric of this community. Well, like I said, you're here because you really wanted to be. You moved here to make a life. You've contributed to the economy. You have been involved in the community. You've made tremendous contributions, and I thank you for that. There are just so many ways that I could illustrate how that is true, and I really wanted to appreciate you for that and just say thank you. Now, I want to go to the next point, which is my association with Clay County as Frank has told you, sort of about my professional background, but the Clay County Historical and Arts Council has become a passion for me, something that it gives me an opportunity to stay involved, well, for one thing, with the kids, in the school kids, and being able to plan projects and so forth, but I really, really am very passionate about the Old Jail Museum.
I don't know why it stalled on me, but it is stalled on me.
I'm really enjoying this. I'm so technologically unprofessional and unproficient, so there is an Old Jail Museum slide somewhere. So while he's working on it, I'm going to talk about it.
That's what I needed for it to do.
Okay. And
There we go.
This was actually the jail from 1912 to 1972. And that in the early years, there was no running water and no plumbing. So that meant a well out back and some outdoor facilities. There are two sections of the building. One is the section where the jailer would live and his family. There were actually 3 bedrooms. You can hardly believe that just by looking at it, but there were 3 bedrooms, 2 upstairs and 1 downstairs, and a living room. So there was a separate entrance, and so the family would have their privacy. And of course, the kitchen was a shared kitchen, and the many times it was the jailer's wife who was, maybe the jailer himself, who was the cook. And so they prepared meals for the family and for the prisoners upstairs. So what we call our main entrance when you visit our museum, that entrance was where the prisoners would be brought in and be processed. And to the left was a cell. And that cell was for women or for people who were being transferred to a facility that would serve their particular mental needs. So anyway, there was I would think that probably not too heavy a traffic in that place, because I don't think there was very much crime here at that time. So anyway, I do want to mention that our docent now is Molly Seaver, and she has been with us for almost 15 years and has a wonderful, wonderful amount of knowledge concerning the history of Clay County. So if you really want to get caught up on that, then visit when you can talk to Molly. Well, you'll see here our big birthday cake that was a part of our celebration last year when we became at age 50, because you can see that there are 5 tiers and the numbers go all the way to the top. So we were ready to make a big celebration last year because we officially were declared an organization. We got our 501c3 designation in February of 1974. So that gave us 50 years last year. And we had a group of people who were very passionate about seeing this old building sit there and, maybe go into ruin and have to be demolished. So that group of people got together and decided that they needed to form an organization that would preserve the building, but, then they moved on toward the real purpose of the organization, which was to preserve the history of the county. And so that started the organization, and I wanted to name some people who were involved in that. Fanny Watson was one. Rob Tiger, whose name's already been mentioned, he was involved. Jane Heinzman and Harry Vaughn, Janice Moore, Sandy Mazza, Leslie Carter, Barbara Busolari, and her mother, Ruth Quinn. And I want to mention them because I appreciate so much what has happened to that museum and the exhibits that are there. And I can brag on it from here to ever, because I didn't have that much to do with it. But I want to mention one person here who very definitely did, and that's Sarah Smith. And Sarah Smith is one of those people who was raised here, went to school here, moved away, and returned. And I have always been very, very thankful for that, because she makes tremendous contributions to our organization. She has creativity. When we were able to do the renovation, she was on the front line and did so much to bring that to fruition, and I was just so pleased with that. So thankful for the generous donation that we got from Ron Bill to make that happen as well. So the renovation was completed, 3-4 years ago? So we do, and the building doesn't look like that anymore, so I thought that was an interesting slide. So, next. Well, I did mention that we were 50 as an organization last year. We're 50 this year with our museum. So you can see that we we are planning a very, very big year this year as well. We're stretching this out and milking it for all we can get out of it. So we have had several good activities already to celebrate the museum, and this one announces that we're going to have a birthday party. So all of you are invited to our birthday party. So you can see the times there and everything. The organization is associated with the North Carolina Arts Council, and we are designated as a designated county partner. And I think, I really appreciate that, but I think that every county, all 100 counties in North Carolina, has one nonprofit organization related to the arts that is called their designated county partner. So that gives us a little bit of inroads with the North Carolina Arts Council. And we do write a grant each year, and we get a grant based on the population of our county. This is last year's special festival exhibit, which I found very interesting because it was something that I felt was needed because we wanted to involve the community, draw the community in. So we had an art class painting old barns, and then they were displayed as our summer exhibit. So that was something that I hope that I thought was a very significant activity because it did put the people in the community, it made them involved, and then the next one is, that's a special poster that talks about this year's exhibit. We have, some of you may have seen something in the paper or seen one of those posters inviting all residents to get involved and show us a photograph of what they thought was important, what they thought was unique in identifying Clay County. So we have those photographs printed, framed, and ready to put up on the wall, and we're excited about that. So this will be May 31st, so if you can come to that party and see who the winners are, that'd be really great. This is another example of what we do in the schools. This is just one example because we do many programs in the schools. This is a drama class. When we plan programs, we have to make sure that we are following the guidelines, which means that we must make sure that we are involving people as leaders who are very, very high quality. In other words, we want to make sure that they're skilled at what they do. And so anyway, this class is taught by Carrie Hood, who some of you may know is a very talented and professional actress who does work in Atlanta. So anyway, we are looking forward to having more programs in the schools and involving the kids. The next one is last year's music from the festival on the square. Just to mention a little bit about music, we are really, really interested in preserving the mountain music, the Appalachian style music, bluegrass and all of that. We're very interested in preserving that. But one of the things that I find too also is that we make every effort to include programs that are broader in spectrum. One of the things that I see in the museum often is the poster that announced in 1974 the North Carolina Symphony having a concert on the square. It was an outdoor concert on the square. So we began with a very, very different kind of music than the people around here were used to, and I was thrilled to see that. Mentioning the festival on the square, we have usually we have like 70 vendors would have been absolutely wonderful, but this year we already have 65 signed up, and we squeeze them in, and we can put 80. So we're looking forward to a good festival this year. This is a fundraiser that is very, very important to us, because we have to have funds that will match the grant that we get. So this is not only something that will provide operational funds, but it gives us an opportunity to match the grant as well. So I'd like to invite all of you to come to the festival this year too. Okay. Now, this is getting into our history just a little bit. This is an exhibit that is in the Pioneer Kitchen, and there's so much in there, but I just wanted to focus on that one table, because this would have been something that would have been very, very typical of farm families 100 years ago. And one of the things that I have heard said is that they tried to make the tables with only 3 planks. This one has 4, but they called it a 3-plank table. And that was supposed to be something a little bit more special and unique. And they would put it together with pegs. I noticed too that the older ones, as they begin to fall apart, you'll see nails used in them. But this is a unique piece of furniture. The farm families would have had a table like that. That would have been maybe they were made by the family, made by someone in the family, or made by somebody down the road who made furniture for a living, or just made furniture and traded something for it. So this would have been very typical of what you would see in a kitchen before electricity, especially. You can see on the table the oil lamp there. I found this fascinating too. This is cotton bolls that were from the last crop of cotton that was raised in Clay County. I didn't have any idea that there was any such thing, but there it is. It was it was on the Mike Carver is the person who grew it, and it's on Lawrence Smith Road off of Downlands Creek. And when the crop was gathered, it was taken to the cotton gin on Peckerwood. So all of you are familiar with the Peckerwood, which is right out here. So I'm not sure where that cotton gin was, but that's where the cotton was taken. I can't imagine that it was a very, very long number of years that they grew cotton here, but anyway, that's what we have here. So, we do have an actual moonshine still upstairs, and it's appropriately in the jail cells, because the poor fellow was captured, and he's there for forever, with an actual steel that was taken. I'm not sure who was sheriff at the time. You think it would have been Tony? Was it Tony? Tony Woody, the longtime sheriff for what, 30-some years, 32 years or something like that. Anyway, he had his deputies out looking for this steel. And Mr. Mull, who was sort of involved in that industry, kept us to restore it. And so it's very, very accurate. And I'm not sure whether Mr. Mull had to ever spend any time in jail for that or not. But anyway, his steel is there. But what is, and then this is a little bit of history that I wanted to share with you, is that making moonshine was an industry. And it was something that a lot of people had to do in order to make a living, especially in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, when there were not as many jobs, and especially if they were not skilled at anything else. You know, and it took a lot of skill to do moonshine the way it needed to be. The comment that I've heard my husband speak often of is that his granddaddy he had a farm up on Shooting Creek, And he raised corn, and he made sure that it was done in the appropriate manner, and I'm not sure what that was, but anyway, they had to grow it in a special way. And Sam recalls that he was one who shelled the corn. So all the little boys who came to school from off the mountain, they knew that Sam Beck was in charge of the corn, so they were extra nice to him. And so anyway, there's another story that he told me about his granddad. He said one day he was walking through the woods, and that would have been a common thing because people put their cattle up in the woods to they arranged their cattle up in the woods so that they would have just free range in the summertime. So anyway, he was there for some reason, and he ran across a still, and he gave it a little taste just to see how it was. He was not a drinker, but he could tell if it was good or not. So anyway, later somebody saw him and said, "Well, Uncle Sam, what did you think about it?" And that was an endearing term for an older man. So he called him uncle, and of course, Granddaddy said, pretty good. So there was definitely an etiquette involved in the moonshine profession and economy, because the people would not tell. I don't know who turned Mr. Mull in with that steel, but anyway, that was back in the day. Everybody protected their neighbors, and unless they were unruly, if they got out of order, then they probably would have told them. But anyway, there was something about it that was necessary, and anyway, some people thought it was necessary, maybe not necessary, but anyway, they accepted the fact that it was going to be that people were going to make it. So anyway, they moved on. Now, Dr. Keegan's office is in a building that was donated to us, and we moved it in on a flatbed truck, and installed it behind the museum. Had to cut a doorway through, but it is a fascinating piece of art that is there, because the old building is genuine. The board floors is still there. Everything just as Dr. Keegan left it when he passed away in 1949. He was born in 1870. Let's see. Okay, I have it written 1872. He was born, and he practiced, or he went to school at Emory and graduated in 1898. And he set up practice in Clay County. That was home, and he came back and established his practice. He was known for riding his horse as he made house calls. Sometimes he would ride his horseback carrying a jug of moonshine, because that's what they gave him for a payment. Something I find so interesting is that he has a registry, or there was a registry that he kept, naming the patients who would come in and how much they paid. So they were, the price was, it was just incredible, like $2, $3, $5 was a high price to have to pay for a doctor visit. So anyway, and the registry that is in the office that people can flip through and see if they can find their relatives or someone that they know goes back to 1930, I think, or 31. So it's very interesting. So if you get a chance to visit Dr. Keegan's office, go through the registry. Now this gives a little example of one of the programs that we did. At the Bill Center, we had the Cherokee program, and it was just a few weeks ago. 4 of the people who really had so much to do with getting our Cherokee exhibit in place were the speakers. Dr. David Moore, who is a retired educator from Warren Wilson College, and he is an archaeologist and has such a vast knowledge of the Cherokee people. Of course, Rob Tiger is well known for the depth of knowledge that he has of the Cherokees. And another is Derry Wood, who created the figure of Lura. And the next speaker was Davy Arch from Cherokee. He's a Cherokee native and has absolutely wonderful knowledge of the Cherokee people in Western North Carolina. So that program was, very, very significant and just an example of how we try to promote the knowledge and the understanding of the Cherokee people in this country, in this area. And I mentioned the figure that Derry Wood created. He called her Lura because there was a woman of Cherokee descent who lived over near him on Buck Creek, and he referred to this figure as Lura. But anyway, you can see the carving. It's life size. It's very intricately done and beautifully done by a craftsman such as Derry Wood. He's absolutely incredible. He also created the moccasins. He did the brain tanning on the hides. He made it. He sewed them together with strips of leather using a needle made out of the shin bone of a deer. So he has an incredible talent, but an incredible knowledge and understanding, because he doesn't make anything that he hasn't researched and knows exactly how to make it so that it's authentic. He did everything on moccasins except the beadwork, which he got a native from Cherokee to do the beadwork. Got somebody who's really an expert at it. So he has also carved a figure of a Cherokee hunter, and this is an incredible piece of work. He brought it to our program, and it's unbelievable, the craftsmanship that's gone into it. So I hope you'll be able to go by the library and see that pretty soon. It's going to be there, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Okay, that's it. Okay. Since I only can do one more, I want to share about Freedom Cemetery. This is an absolutely incredible opportunity for the Clay County Historical and Arts Council to be involved in this, because years ago, I would say 1840 perhaps, a man by the name of Tate came to Clay County and purchased land on the east side of the the Hiwassee River. It went all the way from, as you cross the bridge there at Tusquity and you look to the left, it went all the way down there to the end of that big field, and then all the way up to down this creek. And on the hillside up there was a cemetery that very good. Well, the local people knew about, but it was growing up. The headstones, which were just river rocks, were displaced and everything. So there was a real cry in the heart of Winnell Hunter, who purchased a house that was right next to that property, and she worked and thought and planned and prayed until she got the Clay County Historical and Arts Council involved into erecting a monument that would acknowledge the presence of that cemetery. Now that cemetery has been redone with markers, headstone markers. A group of people who had the imaging equipment they came from Western Carolina, was it? And marked the graves and got the exact shape and the location of them. And headstones have been placed there, a fence has been erected around it. So Winnell's vision has come to fruition, even though she passed away several years ago and did not get to see anything but that monument. And if you can you clear it up just a little bit? I'd love to read what's on it because she wrote this inscription. I guess that's not going to happen, but anyway, it's just beautifully done. So if you get a chance, we asked the African American community if they wanted us to change the name and of the slave drive, and they said no. We want that to stay Slave Drive. So if you see it, if you see the sign, we have seen it. Somebody was upset about it and removed it, and they put it back, and it has remained Slave Drive. But the cemetery is renamed to Freedom Cemetery, and I think that's very, very appropriate. We have a wonderful exhibit in the museum that relates to the Tate family as well. So since I don't get to tell you about it, I'm just going to ask you to come by and see it. Thank you so much.
If you could have only seen the face you just made it there. But I know that you don't want your dinner to be overcooked. And we still have some other things we've got to go through. Reba, thank you very much. I feel like I'm a student who just got sent to the principal's office. I'm going to move this up to here. And we're going to move into the awards portion of our presentation tonight. This is the portion that is sponsored by Rick Andrews and Century 21 Black Bear Realty. I do want to let you know that this part of the program is going to allow you to hear from several different members of our board of directors. You're not going to have to listen to me very much more at all tonight, as a matter of fact. Thank you, Rick. He's so good for my ego. The MCs of our award portion tonight, if I could reintroduce you to our Vice President and our Secretary, Tim Deering and Kelly Crawford.
Hello. All right, we're going to do the awards for tonight. They were all established by the board of directors, and we reached out to all the members for nominations for the awards. We got a ton of them. And again, I will repeat this again, all who were nominated are the winners, whether they won in votes or they did not. They are still winners, that is for sure. And Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, all of the votes did come down to the internet votes, did they not?
Yeah, all the votes were cast by members for the first three awards that we'll go through tonight. Just chamber members from the chamber membership. And all of it was cast online, electronic voting.
So I guess we'll start with the rookie business of the year.
Yeah, and I want to just reiterate what a pleasure it is that we have so many nominees for our businesses and stuff, and that we just have such a strong community, and so loved. I'm just so thankful for all the businesses we get to honor tonight. But the rookie business of the year, I want to tell you a little bit about the criteria. It must have started in 2024, provides a previously unavailable product or service, and/or offers innovative products or services to Clay County residents and visitors, and/or brings recognition to Clay County. So to introduce the Rookie Award, I'm going to ask Rick Andrews with Black Bear and Century 21 to come up and do the introduction.
Thank you. Peter Drucker once said, whenever you see a successful business, someone made a courageous decision. Rookie Business of the Year nominees, win or lose, are pretty courageous to open a local business. Starting with Elf School of the Arts, after a 2-year renovation of the historic school building that dates back to the late 1930s, owner Rachel Watson now hosts artists in residency on the property and also plans for concerts and other events. Fat Dog Sports Bar and Grill, with a new owner, new name, and new menu, what was previously Black Dog Tavern reemerged as Fat Dog Sports and Grill. Creative. Many more improvements have occurred since its opening, but good food and friendly people are its biggest attraction. Funny Farm Thrift Store. As the nominator wrote, this was a much-needed new business for the small community of Warren, making use of formerly empty retail space and providing a needed service to that area, but most importantly, operating to benefit a very worthwhile nonprofit cause in Puppies Under Protection and the Senior Center. And finally, the Lavender Crow, apothecary and tea shop. Yeah, I practiced apothecary several times. As noted in the nomination, this business certainly offers products such as their elderberry syrup, fire cider, and a variety of teas that are not readily available in other businesses. It's a quaint little apothecary that offers a unique experience for our county. And the winner is Fat Dog Sports and Grill. Congratulations to Anthony.
All right, congratulations. We'll move on to the business of the year. The criteria, again, it must have been in business for at least 3 years. Demonstrated one or more of the following characteristics: revenue and or job growth, offers innovative products or services for Clay County residents and visitors, provides exemplary customer service contributing to the betterment of Clay County, encourages and provides professional development of staff and volunteers in the community. And to present this award, I will introduce Teresa McClure.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, but I think we have 7 nominees for this section, so bear with me, I've got a little bit of reading to do here.
category. Largest category.
The first is Big Bear Veterinary Clinic. They were winner of Business of the Year in 2023, and after winning Rookie Business in 2022. Big Bear treats both small and large animals on farm calls and in the veterinary hospital. And second, we have Epic Catering and Eatery and Meals Place. Originally a catering business, Epic expanded to a full-service restaurant on Highway 69 and then added Mel's Place, an adjacent tavern with a full bar and live music on weekends. And next is George's Paint and Hardware. Our 2022 and 2024 Business of the Year winner, George's, is a family-owned business with a strong commitment to customer service and is a neighborhood one-stop shop for anything home improvement related. And next is Chattooga Living Magazine. This business has brought so much joy to our community, wrote its nominator. They share our mountain and lake culture in a very compelling way through their articles and advertising and through the magazine. It's like we're getting to know our neighbors again. And next is Lazy Llama. Located in the heart of Hayesville, Lazy Llama offers unique gifts and crafts, home decor, handmade rustic furniture, products from Peru, and local handmade products in a warm and friendly environment. Margarita Jack's Marina. Its nominator noted, this business is enhancing the community with its beautifully renovated property, tiki bar, dry storage, updated docks, and a newly opened seafood restaurant. Beyond creating jobs and exciting new experiences, Margarita Jack's actively supports the local economy by prioritizing local suppliers over major food suppliers. Mountain Harbor Golf Club. As its nominator wrote, after years of financial difficulty, Mountain Harbor Golf Club has seen 5 consecutive years of increased revenue and employment growth, providing jobs for 33 people in 2024. Mountain Harbor Grill has added an excellent new dining option to the area, and the refurbishment and repairs done to the clubhouse have made it a much-needed large event venue for our community. And the winner is Lazy Llama Convention.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to add in before y'all were applauding, I didn't get to congratulate both of them. Congratulations to owners, Rosario and Michael Ryan.
Our next award is for Organization of the Year, and I'm going to go over some criteria for it. It must be an active 501c3 organization. It must have been in operation for at least 3 years, contributed to the betterment of Clay County, and demonstrated an unwavering commitment to its stated cause or mission. And to introduce the organizations, have Mr. Henry Angelopoulos do this.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Organization, we have 6 nominees. First nominee, it's kind of dear to my heart because my little girl is actually in the Hayesville Yellow Jackets Rifle Club, and that's the American Legion Post 532. This organization is heavily focused on providing opportunities for young people in Clay County. They provide scholarships to college-bound students, send representatives to boys state and girls state, and sponsor junior shooting sports programs, teacher safety, leaderships, and sportsmanship. Like I said, my daughter is actually on the rifle team for this year. We've heard a lot of the CCRA, Clay County Communities Revitalization Association. We've heard a ton of things that they've done already. Some of the main things is the Beal Center, the historic courthouse. They're also involved in maintaining and promoting the Jackrabbit biking and hiking trails, and promoting the Cherokee Heritage Exhibit. In addition, they just bought the old hotel on the square, and they're going to revitalize that. So wonderful, wonderful things. They also did some Hurricane Helene benefit concerts and made donations to 3 other groups who were directly aiding to those impacted by that horrible storm. Next is Granny's Attic. This organization's 30 years old. It's not-for-profit, all volunteer. 40.
The nominator said 30. What was written was 30.
I don't mean to be heckled.
You don't want the Grammys after you.
they've given to other nonprofits in Clay County, and they're able to fund every organization that applies.
That was just in 2024.
Next organization is the Hinton Rural Life Center. Hi, Jackie. They do a ton of stuff. One of the things, they're year-round lodging and conference center. They have wonderful food if you've ever eaten there. Hopefully they'll start the Mother's Day thing back up. Hinton Center helps the community in a wide range of missions, including safe and healthy home repair. If you've gone by and seen their exhibit there, it's wonderful. I gave you a lead painted window.
You did, thank you.
She said, do you have a lead painted window? And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately I do. Their firewood ministry is wonderful, gardening, Christmas care ministries, and they also do Leadership too, which I'm a graduate of, which is a wonderful thing for this area.
Me too.
I was on the first. Yes, you were.
And then, hi Callie, Mountain True over there, known Callie for years. They're a environmental organization that has played a really significant part in over this past years in helping out with our parrot feather problem in Lake Chatou. They have water monitoring and volunteering to help our water quality in the area, and it's a wonderful organization. Last is the Still Place. I've had the honor of taking some things to the Still Place. Their services of this organization, they include week-long retreats for families with terminally ill children, free bereavement retreats, mom and dads who have had lost children, can literally be there a lifetime for their receipt. Excuse me. At the same time, they serve as a showcase for the beauty and richness of our area with excursions and activities, and they basically help to help and heal people. So finally, we come to the winner. The Hinton Rural Life Center. Congratulations, Jackie.
All right, now we have the organization of the year.
No, that was just the
Just kidding, Frank, come on. We're gonna go to the couple public awards that were, again, anyone serving in Clay County. They were taken from the public, solicited through the Clay County Progress. And the final vote was general public, both via email and in person. And we'll start with the People's Choice Award. Criteria, real quick, is open to any business or organization serving Clay County, not just the chamber members. Nominators asked to answer questions regarding customer service experiences, community involvement, products or services provided, and what inspired the nomination. And to introduce the People's Choice Award, I will have Patience Hall come up.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the script. I think that's safe. So we will start with the People's Choice nominee, American Legion Post 532. In addition to the service to area youth mentioned earlier, this veterans organization is also devoted to promoting patriotism and providing service to veterans and service members. The Legion participates in area parades and the annual Suicide Awareness Walk, as well as many other local events. Next, we have Hazel Brew. These nominators said customer service is the most important thing to Hazel Brew. Owner Brenda Rosser and her brew crew are super friendly and very attentive. As a result, the establishment is almost always full and has become a comfortable gathering place for locals and visitors alike. We like to go there very often. And next we have Lake Chattooga Living Magazine. In the words of its nominator, by shining a spotlight on local events, businesses, and initiatives, Lake Chattooga Living Magazine plays a vital role in promoting community engagement and supporting the local economy. The publication has become a trusted source of information and inspiration, driving interest in regional activities and encouraging residents to explore and appreciate their surroundings. Next we have Mountain Harbor Golf Club. In its nomination, it was noted that the club's success has contributed to increased lot sales and home builds in the Mountain Harbor community, enhancing the tax base of Clay County. The golf club and its members are also active supporters of multiple charitable initiatives, and the club allows golf club teams from throughout the area to practice and play at the course at no cost. It will also host our upcoming employee golf tournament. Thank you very much. And last but not least, we have Sunny Sips. Since opening, they have been a fixture at many Clay County events and also provide curbside service. Their specialties are lemonade, Sunny Refreshers, Sunny Sodas, specialty sips, there's a lot of S words, and specialty snacks. So Sunny Sips, last nominee. And the winner, well, before I say the winner. The winner is the American Legion Post 532. Congratulations, Robert Sauber. Congratulations, Robert. It's okay. I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Reba for your beautiful presentation and representing the Cherokee community as you do in Clay County. Shki, thank you. I'm an enrolled tribal member and I really appreciated your presentation. Congratulations. I'm the daughter of a Marine, the granddaughter of an Army vet, and the fiance of a Navy vet. So thank you. Almost all of them.
I just want to say that, the American Legion is not just a post, it's a family. We have the auxiliary member part, and we also have the part for the children of veterans, and so we do, it's a family thing, it's not just us.
One other thing that I've mentioned too with Robert's acceptance, we are very proud of our latest project that we have done is the Veterans Park. So if you haven't been by there, please go by there and take some time and honor those on the wall and on the monuments. But we plan to have Memorial Day service there, but there will be a separate dedication ceremony later too. But please go by, it's fantastic. We thank you for your support for that too. Thank you.
The last award we're going to give out tonight is Volunteer of the Year criteria. Volunteer of the Year. And our criteria, is, again, it's chosen by the public. It's open to any individual volunteering in Clay County. And nominators are asked to share information regarding the organization the person is involved with, types of things the individual does as a volunteer, and why the person deserves recognition as the top volunteer in our area. And the person that's going to introduce the Volunteer of the Year nominees is Ms. Amanda Wagner.
Thank you. This category is one I'm definitely passionate about. There's a lot of volunteers in Hazel. You'll see from what you have right here coming up, so I'm going to tell you about all the work they do, but one quote that stuck with me from long ago about volunteering, it was basically, it said, volunteers don't volunteer because they have time. They volunteer because they have the heart. And I think you're going to see from this group, every one of these guys are winners. I mean, if we could give them all a trophy, I would give them all a trophy. But whether or not you get your trophy, you're definitely all winners, and our county is definitely very lucky to have so many caring volunteers that we do have. So our first nominee is Jim Barr from Hinton Rural Life Center. Jim has become involved in several community activities since becoming a permanent resident of Hayesville. These include Meals on Wheels for a while and now regularly with the Hinton Firewood Ministry. His past life in trucking has been a great addition as he is the #1 choice to be the truck and trailer driver during wood retrievals, hauling tractors, and the necessary delivery to those in need who have no way to come to Hinton. Apparently Hinton likes to give their trucks and trailers there. Glenn Bork, also from Hinton Rural Life Center, who started initially volunteering at the Clay County Food Pantry. Glenn heard about the firewood ministry at Hinton Center, and for almost 10 years, Glenn has been a major part of the growth of this ministry in splitting, retrieving, and distributing the firewood. For the past few years, he has led the team of volunteers and coordinated with the Hinton leadership in keeping this ministry meeting the heating needs of our community. Bill Meldrum, I know it's messed up the name, from Hinton Rural Life Center as well, has made a tremendous impact in various roles, including as a board member, chair of the Swing for Hinton, Swing for Hope Golf Tournament, and as well as a woodchucker. He also spearheaded the renovation of one of Hinton's facilities into a fully accessible 2-bedroom apartment with a lake view. Karen Robinson from Gary's Attic. Karen has been in the capacity of either president or vice president for the last 8 years. Karen is always willing to do any and everything that is needed on any given day. She has spent uncountable hours contributing to the management and everyday operation of Grants. Our last nominee is Sandy Zimmerman. Sandy Zimmerman from Hayesville. Sandy supports essentially every other nonprofit organization in the area. With funding, personal volunteer hours, mobilization of other volunteers, publicity, and more. From the little things like planting and caring for the flowers around the square and the town hall to the big things like organizing fundraisers and securing grant money for community projects. She is an Energizer Bunny and a local treasurer. And the winner is Sandy Zimmerman.
Y'all thought you were gonna go to dinner, but now it's
I just wanted to follow up on Reba, what you said about the OTL Museum. It was wonderful, but I've got a little tidbit for everybody. It was still operable by the sheriff in 1969, and they were still handing out traffic tickets on Highway 64 because I got one. So, the sheriff was still in there, I think 69, 70 for a while. And the jail was there. Fortunately, I got someone to come pay my ticket, and I did not have to go to jail. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Woo! We have one little last bit of information to share, and then we're gonna send you to dinner. Thank you to Kelly and Tim for emceeing the awards portion. Also, thank you to Nate Mullet, who's a former board member, also actually preceded Patience as a representative of Harris Cherokee Valley River Casino. The beautiful awards that we passed out tonight were created by Nate Mullet. And they are made from local wood and represent our local area. And Nate's done the awards for us for the last several years. So thank you guys. Last up, I'm going to call Caleb and Hillary. Come on up. And before our final two board members talk to you tonight, I'm going to make an apology for Kayla Lawler, who's not up here tonight. Kayla's been a little under the weather. She sent me a note last night and said, I I've been dealing with a sore throat, I don't really want to be on the microphone, so we didn't skip her on purpose, it was her request.
Good evening. I feel like I'm the lucky one because I get to tell you about to dinner. But first, as you go in there, you're going to see some beautiful centerpieces, and those are from our table sponsors. And we're so grateful for that. That helps us put on this event so that we can celebrate all these wonderful businesses and volunteers. So as you go in there, take a look at your table, maybe some others. See the centerpieces there. There's information about those businesses. And really quick, I'm just going to list the sponsors so we can thank them. So we've got the Beal Center with 2 tables. We have Blue Ridge Mountain EMC with 2 tables. We have the Clay County Chamber of Commerce, George's Paint and Hardware, Lake Chattooga Living Magazine, Tri-County Office Supply, and the Western North Carolina Festival of Trees. So thank you again to our table sponsors. And I'm going to let Caleb talk about an exciting event that we are coming up.
Thank you, Hillary. I just want to give a quick update on an event that the Chamber's going to be hosting. It's a new event that we're hosting on Thursday, June 12th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Beal Center. It's a Resource Business Summit. This event's going to be held in partnership with the Southwestern North Carolina Planning and Economic Development Commission, which is located in Solo. And it's going to provide local business owners and managers with information about various business resources available to them in Clay County. We'll have different speakers from organizations such as Tri-County Community College, CCRA, SCORE. We'll have some people from Representative Schlegel's office, Clay County Government, Town of Hayesville, and many others. This event is free, so we encourage you guys to put it on your calendar and come see it. Thank you.
And there's some info on the back. There's info on the back of your program about that. I guess I can't sit there and talk on this. We're going to adjourn you through those doors. You are allowed to sit at any table you want, except if you're a table sponsor, don't sit at your own table. Let others sit at your table and see your materials. You can stop by later and say hi and introduce yourselves. And at the end of dinner, we will be giving away a large number of door prizes, so don't sneak off when you finish. Wait for door prizes. I promise we'll have you out of here by 8:30. Thank you.